Hello and welcome to my Yu-Gi-Oh channel. Today we're covering a brand new card coming out of Blazing Vortex, and it's a brand new axe-based card. It's called Archfiend Staff of Despair. It's an equipped spell card with the effect equip only to a monster you control. You can only use this card's name's first and second effects once per turn each. 1. During your main phase, you can make all face-up monsters your opponent currently controls lose attack equal to half the equipped monsters until the end of this turn. And 2. If this card is sent to the graveyard while equipped to a monster, you can pay 1000 life points, add this card to your hand. This card actually works very differently to a lot of equipped cards. Most of them are boost your own monster's attack. I mean, there are a couple of exceptions. I think there's one called Dark World Shackles, which forces your opponent's monsters to have, basically, it turns their attack into 100. There's probably another few out there that have reduction effects in there that I can't think of. Does make it a lot different to its competitors is that this impacts all of your opponent's side. And remember, it doesn't impact just on its original attack. It could be the monster you've equipped's attack that's been boosted. So if it's had things like United We Stand equipped, Mage Power, Power of the Guardians, and various archetype-based support as well. That will make this card incredibly powerful when used against your opponent. The downside of this card is, of course, monsters have to be face-up, and it's only the attack that gets reduced. So if your opponent is running a defensive-based deck, this is of no value of it. But on the other hand, you've got options you can use. There's a very old trap card called Light of Intervention, which is a continuous trap which prevents your opponent from flipping, setting monsters. Essentially, they have to have all their defense position monsters face up. So even if they cannot attack, you can see what stat lineups they have. And also, this is very effective as even just a one card addition to your deck, because if your opponent has a large field and you're able to equip this to, say, a 3000 attack monster, they're losing 1500 attack each monster, so you can actually pick out some of the weakest ones, or those that have other versions of negation effects to stop them, and then you're able to play through some of these other cards. My other concern is that its secondary part of the effect is people argue it's like Acts of Despair. Okay, and you do have to pay 1000 life points to do that, but I don't see it the same, and I wish this card had actually been released a lot sooner. I think it deserved release maybe 5-10 years ago when it would have seen play. Currently, as of now, there are lots of monsters that run out there with destruction effects or non-targeting effects, or cannot be targeted by spell or card. Various other effects which prevent these from working. There's also the aspect of, everyone's got some kind of negation, and is this card actually going to be worthwhile putting it in your deck? Potentially yes, depending on the style of deck and how likely you are to recover this card. Potentially no, more likely to be the case, because it's just outdated. It's a bit tired. I know what Konami's trying to do. I know they're trying to support older archetypes, but I don't necessarily think this is the right way to do it. I think had it had maybe one additional effect or something which makes it a little bit better than it is, and it might have seen play. It might still see a little bit of play depending on how casual the player is. If they're meta-based, they're not going to be playing this at all. And I don't understand why it's an Archfiend. Yes, I can see from the design, it's not really an Archfiend card. It applies to all monsters. It's not specifically a Dark Attribute, an Archfiend archetype card, or a Fiend type card. Its relevance to those archetypes don't exist. I love the design of it because it looks like one of those old witch doctor kind of voodoo doll based things that you see. Other than that, I'm a little bit lacklustered by it. Whatever you think, please leave your comments down below. Do you like the card? What do you think it'll work with? Make sure to put those comments down below, like the video, and don't forget to subscribe for more daily Yu-Gi-Oh content.